Hey guys, Lon from ECOM Zone, and in this video I'm going to talk about dealing with Facebook ad volatility. Especially in the past year, Facebook ads has been very volatile. So if you've been running ads and you've experienced this, like one day you're profitable, next day you're breaking even, then a day after you're making a loss, or you're just constantly at a loss or break even point, well, we're going to discuss all of that in this video and how you can overcome that volatility. Because there's always something you can do on your end, even if Facebook ads are acting up. So we go over to the screen here, you see three graphs. This graph here is profit and loss, and this is the amount of days you've been running your ad for. So in most cases, you guys are just starting on here, day 0, you make a loss of course, and after a few days, maybe after 4 or 5 days, you're at break even, and then you're at a loss again. Or you could be at this graph here where you made a sale or you're profitable on the first day, but then you go into a loss the next few days, and then you're back into profit, and then you're in a loss again. Or if you're on this last chart here, like myself, where you're constantly profiting, but on some days you're just slightly over break even point, but you're never in a loss. You're usually always profiting, just different amounts. So depending on which graph you're on right now, kind of affects how you want to improve your funnel or your ad creatives or your products. Usually if you're on the first graph where you're constantly breaking even or making a loss, it could be to do with your industry, your ad creatives, your ad format, your ad copy, or the demand for the product. It could also be the audience size. So let's go through this in more detail. So with the industry, now certain industries like the beauty niche or other niches are very expensive to run ads for just because of how competitive they are. So like makeup, skincare, hair care, there's many other industries out there that are very expensive. And that's why you can see that my CPMs are very low. My CPMs are like $12 or even £6 sometimes. And my CPC is around 12 cents or 12p. Of course, if you're in an expensive industry, you can't really do much with it. You kind of just have to ride the wave and pay that expensive ad costs. But to counter that, you want to increase your average order value. So if you're in an expensive industry like the beauty niche, you want to increase your average order value or increase your conversion rate. Otherwise, you just won't offset the ad costs. So to increase your average order value, you have to just sell more expensive products. Products that are like $80 or $100 or anything above $50 is a healthy average order value. With your conversion rates, if your CPC is very expensive, like higher than $1, then your conversion rate needs to be at least 2%. So every 100 visitors, you need to at least get 2 sales. And of course, this depends on your average order value. For example, if your average order value is $200, then you don't really need a high conversion rate if your cost per click is cheap, right? So all these numbers, they kind of affect each other. Next, we want to talk about your ad creatives, your ad format, and your ad copy. So depending on what ad format you run, it actually affects your cost bases. For example, if you're running video ads, in most cases you are because you're selling like a problem-solving product or a product that requires a video to explain what it actually is, then you'll be running a video ad, and usually they tend to be more expensive than image and carousel ads. Now the problem with running video ads is most of you guys don't know the winning formula of creating a good video ad. And that's why it's good to learn content creation and copywriting. And you don't want to learn off dropshippers like myself. You really want to go find someone who's really skilled in that space and know what they're talking about and know how to write good copy, etc. And that way you could improve your video ads and your ad copy. Next is your ad creatives, which we've kind of touched upon, but essentially you want to look at your video metrics if you're running video ads and see how long people are staying. So you could just go to your Facebook ads, go to columns, and then customize columns, search for video metrics, and then just add all the video metrics. But the ones you want to focus on is the average watch time and how many people stay till like 25% point to 50%, 75% point. Now let's just say on average, people are only sticking around for 4 seconds on your video. That means there's something wrong with your video, right? Is your visual hook isn't working and people are just looking for the first 3 seconds and they're swiping away. Really bad ad, and you need to improve your ad creatives. So that's why in most cases, you'll be on this graph here. If your ad creatives are half decent, then you'll probably be on this graph here or this graph. But if you're in this graph here, it's probably because of your average order value or your conversion rate. It really depends on your funnel. And that's why it's actually best to just book a call in with me so I can just analyze your funnel, your ads, your website, everything, and then I can tell you where the issue is. Otherwise, you have to kind of go through each one of these and figure out what the problem is. Next, it could be the demand for your product, or also saturation. Maybe there is a high demand for your product, but your product is very saturated. You can find it all over Google, you can find it all over Amazon. Especially products where you can just search for it, like shoulder massage gun or something like that, right? You can simply copy your product title and then put it on Amazon, and I could find so many different variations. And that will affect your conversion rates. Because people will look at your ad, they'll go to your store, and they're like, this is quite expensive. And so they'll just Google it or Amazon, and they find it for half the price. And that's the problem with selling products like that. And especially when you're trying to find winning products on like those spy tools and apps, I do not recommend that. For me, I personally like selling untapped products where there's not many sales, there's high demand, nobody's really advertising it, and you can't really find ad creatives online for it. That's how you know it's not a saturated product. If you're running a product and there's so many video creators out there, it's probably saturated, and a lot of dropshippers have already sold it. Also, audience size of your interests or your ad sets. You kind of want to aim for 10 million above or 20 million. That's just a rough number, but higher the better. Or if you're on these two stages and you want to get to this stage where you're constantly profitable, then you probably don't have retargeting campaigns on Facebook ads, and you need to introduce that. So retargeting campaign looks very simple. So if I go to my ads manager here, so you can see here, this BOF campaign is a CBO campaign, as you can see, using campaign budget. There's 5 ad sets in here: Instagram, purchase, carts, checkouts, Facebook, and website visitors. And that's just a simple funnel. So the funnels looks like that. Your user comes from the top, they don't know your brand, they look at your ad on Instagram or Facebook, they go to your website, they add to cart, they go check out, they purchase. And so that's the funnel, right? You want to target each section of that funnel in a new ad set. So they all usually target the past 180 days. I believe Instagram and Facebook, you can actually set it to past year. So anyone who visited your Facebook account in the past year, you'll be retargeting. But you can see here, my ROAS is extremely healthy. Like 8 ROAS for this, 5.16. And you can see here, these ROAS are very low. However, you do not want to switch that off, because you're targeting people in each part of this funnel and you're constantly sending them ads. And by like the 3rd or 4th or even 2nd time they've seen your ad, they might actually buy from you. And that's why you do not want to switch this off, because someone who might have went to Facebook, then they went to website, but they never added to cart. And so these two will be advertising those ads to them. And then of course the cart checkout will send another ad. So within these ads, you can see I'm running about 14 ads here, minus 2 that I've switched off. So there's 12 ads running in total in these ad sets. And you can see they're just different types of ads. Like this one's a review, this one's like don't leave now, why pay for more? And you're trying to just set different offers, create some sense of urgency, like buy now, end of offer or end of season offer, sale right now, get up to 50% off, or buy 2, get 1 free. Just throw every single offer you have into these ads. It's very simple. Like all you want to do is just give Facebook more ad creatives to play with. And so these ad creatives are the same in Facebook. So you can see here, this one's working really well. And this is a review ad. Now with these review ads, just imagine all those reviews you have on your website and testimonials. Now I only got 6 different review ads here. But you can literally have an ad set with like 20 different review ads where you're constantly testing different reviews from your website. Because each review will have a different effect. Maybe it's saying, oh, my daughter loves this gift she received. Or my mum loved this necklace you bought her. So you're targeting different demographics and you're using different reviews. And that's literally my BOF campaign, guys. So it's very simple. This campaign's only been running for a few days and is already very, very profitable. And the reason why I always preach retargeting campaigns is because tough campaigns only target your customers once and never again. And that's why you need to retarget your customers, because 98% of your customers will not go to your website. And then 98% of those people who go to your website won't actually buy from you, right? Because you got a 2% conversion rate. And also the CTR here, so my CTR is 3.74%. That means 96% of people who look at my ad don't go to my website. And then if my conversion rate is like 1%, that means 99% of people who go to my website don't buy from me. And that's why it's very important that you have retargeting campaigns. Now next, no abandoned checkout flows. So you don't have your email flows set up or your SMS flows. Really bad practice when you run an e-commerce store. You want to set them up as soon as you're running ads. So you got your email flows, which is welcome flow, abandoned cart flow, abandoned checkout, abandonment browse flow, and that's basically it at the beginning. Same with SMS, you want your welcome flow, your abandoned checkout flows, and your abandoned carts, etc. So you want them all set up. Now I use Shopify Flow for mine, and then I use also Yotpo for my SMS. So Shopify Flow for emails, Yotpo SMS for SMS. Now Yotpo does have multiple apps, so you want to make sure you got the right app. Now the one you want is Yotpo SMS and Marketing app. So this is the one you're looking at. Now, if you do have these emails and SMS flows set up, but they're not converting and you're not picking up any sales, well, why don't you try giving them a different offer? So at each level or each email or SMS, you want to increase that offer. So the first email could be get 10% off with code XYZ. Then the second one could be get 15% off. Then the last final email you send out is get 20% off, right? Of course, it depends on your average order value, your markups, and your margins. But that's how I send out my flows. Spoke about saturation, not testing enough. So I know a lot of you guys, you start running your campaigns with like only 3 ad creatives in your bank. But what you want to do is have a library full of ad creatives. Now, if you don't know how to mass create ad creatives, it's very, very simple. All you're doing, you're testing the first 3 videos, you figure out which one is working, right? Now, if this one, let's just say A is working better than C and B, what you want to do is recreate A with different visual hooks. So the rest of the video can be the same, you're just changing the first 5 seconds of your video, right? Just the first 3 to 5 seconds, change it up. Maybe it's a caption on the screen, maybe it's a completely different visual hook. And that way, you don't have to like waste all that time recreating the whole video. You just recreate the first 5 seconds and you can just mass create them. Very, very quick and easy. Now, if you don't know what ad copy to come up with or captions or anything, just ask ChatGPT and see what inspiration it gives you. And also look at ad library and see what your competitors are running for their ads. Next, you're scaling too fast. So some of you guys may be like getting 1 or 2 sales and you're like, oh, I found a winner. Let me just scale to the moon. Let me just increase budgets by 50%, 100%, double it, whatever. And then next day you're making a loss. See, you're scaling too quick there. Because the first few sales may be fluke sales or they're just low-hanging fruit sales that Facebook just gives you. And that's why 1 or 2 sales does not deem your ads as a winner. You kind of need like 5 to 10 sales per ad set before you could deem it as a winning creative, a winning angle, etc. And then you can scale. Break-even cost per acquisition is too small. So a lot of you guys run campaigns for $30 products, right? So let's just say your selling price is $30, right? But you buy it for $12, something like that. So you buy it for 12, that includes shipping, and you sell it for 30. That means your break-even cost per acquisition is around $18, right? So you can only spend $18 on ads before you make a loss. You need to make a sale every $18. Let's just say your CPA right now is $16, you're profitable, but only $2 per sale. That's nothing. You get taken up by fees, taxes, refunds, chargebacks, everything. And that's why this doesn't work. I never sell cheap products. And what you want to do is aim for a higher selling price. So maybe this is $80 and you're buying it for 30, your break-even cost per acquisition is 50. That means you have a like $50 playing room. So maybe your CPA right now is like $32. So you spend $32 on ads, you get a sale. That means you have $18 left to play with. to test, to scale, to just keep adding more creatives, etc. And that's why I always promote like higher average order value items. You do not want to sell cheap items, not in this day and age. And also you want to cater to the rich, because if the economy is very shaky, we're heading towards a recession and stuff like that, the only people that's going to buy from you are rich people. So definitely try selling products to rich people and aim for a high average order value so that your break-even CPA is higher. Improving your offers is another way to increase your profit margins. So maybe it's buy two, get one free. Maybe it's just buy two, get X% off. Buy three, you get a bigger discount. So test different offers, leave them running for like a week or two, depending on how much you're spending on ads, and see if that improves your average order value or your conversion rate. And last but not least, adding more products to your store. So a lot of you guys just add products at the beginning of your store and then you call it a day. You're like, oh, I'm finished now. Don't need to add more products to the store. But what you actually want to do is continually add more products to your store. Your store is a niche branded dropshipping store. You want to keep adding products to your store. And then you want to keep creating ad creatives, testing new ads, and creating more ads for these new products. And that way you got some system going where you're constantly finding new products to advertise whilst also scaling your winning products. Because you never know, one day those winning products become very saturated and your ads just don't work anymore. And there's cycles for different products depending on the demand. And also depends on your competition, how fast they're onto your products and how fast it gets onto Amazon. So it varies. Like one product can last for a year, one product can last for a month, one product can last for 2 years. So no one really knows, it just depends on demand for your product. But this is how you deal with Facebook ad volatility. And I hope you guys found this video valuable. I hope it helped. If you do need help or further assistance on your Facebook ads or your funnel, just book a discovery call in with me. But I am going on holiday soon, May 20th, and I won't be accepting any calls whilst I'm on holiday. And I'll be on holiday for 2 months. I'll be going Vietnam and Japan. Very busy like countries. I'll be like celebrating wedding, and Japan is just like constant walking and spending time exploring. So best book your sessions in if you want to speak to me. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, smash that like button, subscribe to my channel for more content, and peace.